Hey everyone, this is Ben back with you in the Midwest Model Shop. So today's the day. We're going to go ahead and look at our final aftermarket kit that we have for the USS Enterprise CV-6. This is the detail set from PONTOS. I waited a long time to get this. I don't know what happened. I went ahead and reached out to Kim, the gentleman in charge of all this, and I prepaid for it well in advance of everybody else before they were available, and then I feel like I was probably the last person to actually receive it. But that's okay. We got it here, and that's all that matters. So this kit is very expensive. I think it's north of $500. I think it's $560 US. Now, that's not because PONTOS just raised their prices to be jerks, or you get some crazy thing that's magical and better than everything else. You could argue that. A lot of it has to do, unfortunately, with just the cost of things today. When I purchased my KA kit, it was a long time ago, and things have gone up significantly since then when this kit went into production. What we're going to do today is we're going to open it up. It's going to be a quick review and just go through and check out all the stuff. The big deal, the big difference of why did I get this kit in addition to the KA kit. This kit does not have, for example, lifeboats. The KA kit does have new lifeboats. This kit comes with a stained blue deck if you want it. The KA kit does not. The KA kit comes with a ton of 3D printed parts that are not included in here, but this kit comes with a lot of resin poured parts, the more traditional stuff. But the real reason that I wanted this kit in addition to KA is that on the forecastle and the poop deck, the stern in front of the ship, on Enterprise, all that had exposed girders and steel decks and things like that. They provide almost all of that for you in brass Photoetch in the PONTOS kit. And I've always said that if you want to paint a model to look like metal, just paint metal and it'll look like painted metal. And it's real easy. Obviously this is a lot more work and it's way more involved than the KA kit. If Photoetch isn't really your forte, I would just stick with the KA kit. But this thing offers a lot of additional brass pieces that you won't get with KA currently. I heard, like I said, I heard a rumor they were thinking about making an additional kit. I don't know if they're going to do that or not. So my plan is to build the model using a combination of the two. So what we're going to do today is we're going to open this up, go through it. A lot of it I have not looked at before, so you're going to get my genuine reaction. I'm pretty excited about it, especially with the instructions. And I know flipping through kit instructions is not very exciting for a lot of people. Check them out on this. At least take a few minutes to look at that segment. It's pretty neat. Last thing, please like and subscribe if you want to watch the Enterprise build and click the bell icon for notifications, because I am not yet ready to start this build. I have to finish Titanics, and that's why I wanted to knock this video out, because this is it for the Enterprise for now. We're going back to Titanic, and hopefully I can get one out this week. It's right there. We've got to work on them. So if you're not interested in Titanic, like and subscribe anyway, please, so that you'll know when this video series starts to play. All right, that's it. Thank you very much for watching. Let's go ahead and get into the review. Okay, here we go. So this is what you get from PONTOS, and it's been a minute since I've opened this box up, so we'll just do it here. And this is what you get. So right away on top, a nice big piece of black foam to keep everything nice and tight. We get this box, plain Jane, and inside of it is an epic amount of Photoetch and decals. I think these actually might be dry transfers, and you can see right away here you've got the Wasp, Hornet, Enterprise, Yorktown on here with various colors, which is really, really, really nice that they include those. So we'll go through all of the Photoetch and everything in this box in a minute. So starting out, also here we have the instructions. We'll go through that at the end. Then we've got this bag, and in here are a bunch of cool things. Basically we have 3D printed guns and resin printed guns. Then we have another bag full of bags, and in there you're going to have an anchor chain, which is nice, some nicely done screws. We'll pop these out and take a look at that. Then your typical brass pieces, parts for your mass, more parts, and those are torpedoes in there. More parts of brass, the brass for the mass and everything, and then your 5-inch gun barrels, and looks like some Orlik and Cannon gun barrels as well. Alright, then we have a decal sheet, and actually, let's see here. Yeah, you get a couple, or at least I got 2, so that's really nice. Again, I don't know why we don't have the red roundels in the middle here. This might be for a specific date. I'll have to check that, and I am definitely calling into the question whether or not these bottom ones will actually fit on any part of any of the airplanes. They're really, really big. I could see this one working on maybe the side of the fuselage, this one on the wing. These are really massive. Again, I'm skeptical. We'll look into it. I know several people have said to me, hey, you know, those are actually, they were really big early war. And I know, I just don't think that they're to scale with the airplanes. We'll get to it later on down the road. Or maybe if someone who's finished the kit can talk about it in the comments, that would be great. All right, then we have this package. And what we got here? This is, ooh yeah. So on here, it looks like I've got some decals running through here, and I think, are they I don't know if they're dry transferred or if this is a protective covering. Here we go, this is peeling off. Man, I'm not sure what's going on here. I'm going to be real careful with that. Put it back. These actually, I think I'm looking at a mask because I see little cutouts. Oh man, you're not going to be able to see this. Can you see right there, these little cutouts? This may be a giant ready-to-go mask for the flight deck so you could paint lines on. If that's the case, that's really awesome. I didn't pay close attention. I bet you that's what that is. We'll have to check and see. All right, then we have some large Photoetch sheets right here that we'll look at. And then here we have our stained hull. Oh, and I think we have more decals in here. So let's go ahead and go through all of this. All right, starting out here, and I'm not going to get too carried away, we have some nicely detailed in stainless steel deck pieces, just like we had in the KA set. And I'm not going to pull them out because we'll see all this later. What I will do is compare and contrast both during the assembly. And then their layout is a little bit different as well. But again, these are all deck parts for the Enterprise. And, you know, exquisitely done. Everything's super nice here. All right, let's put those back. Let's move on to the wooden deck. Okay, here is the wooden deck all laid out, and this is pre-stained to be basically, I call it deck stain blue or navy blue. Hopefully the color is translating okay. It occurred to me during the pivot here that this one looks a little darker than that one. Trust me, they're the same color. They don't look like it on camera, but to my eye, they're the same color. Let's zoom in a little bit here. All right, so see all of this finely detailed stuff. I believe that gets cut out, and I'm thinking now, because I did get an additional sheet like this that has some cutout markings on it. You could just make out those lines. I think this is a stencil, basically, that they've given you to help with painting everything. I'll sort that out later in the instructions, but this is different from what we got with KA. This is a lot more robust piece of paper, doesn't feel fragile, but again on the back, same thing. You got your peel, stick and peel type of arrangement, and it'll go down super sticky at first, and then Later on it'll probably let go. So I always use some glue. And then on our bow pieces, unlike with what we got from KA, there's a little bit of extra right here. Some extra pre-stained wood. I opted to go with the pre-stained blue. I wanted to see what they would provide me with. So we have the 2 decks. My intention is to use the blue here from the PONTOS kit. So we'll see how that all plays out. If I really mess something up or there's a problem, you know, I have 2 decks. But yeah, those are your wood decks. Okay, pressing on. All right, in that bag earlier I mentioned we had a lot of resin parts, and that is still true. A lot of really cool fittings and pieces here. I see lights, little gun mounts, little accessories. So PONTOS has opted to go with resin. These are resin poured, definitely not 3D printed. And then you get another bag, again with some finely done details. Resin, not 3D printed. And then last but not least, these are Bofors, 40 mils. Got your little gun tubs here. They're different shapes. We'll do a little compare and contrasting, again with everything available. Resin. This is not 3D printed. KA went 3D printed, and these are resin. Still super, super nice. Good medium, easy to work with. All right, pressing on. Okay, then they do provide you with 4 propellers. I pulled one out. These are really nice. If you want a nice gold gloss brass look, really well done. I'm assuming as some kind of vendor handles these for PONTOS. The ones from Titanic were a catastrophe and all pitted and messed up, and these are flawless basically. If you want a real nice shiny propeller ready to go, you get 4 of them here, and this is great. Obviously you can go ahead, and they're the correct shape, and I don't think there's anything wrong with the thickness. If you don't like them like this, but you do want metal, you can scuff them up, paint over them, do whatever you'd like to do, and you'll still have a nice metal propeller. So this is a real nice touch. These are all 4 in really good condition. The finish is top notch. All right, now things are going to get interesting. We'll just kind of slide right through each of these, and if they get really intense, I'll pull them out of the plastic. So there's our first piece of Photoetch, and as you can see, this is for the aircraft. And we've got internal tubs. These are the little flight decks. This is for the folding wings. We've got our propellers. And then we have the brass for around the canopies. We also have our speed brakes. All of this stuff, PONTOS has opted to do in Photoetch versus KA 3D printed them. So again, there's a difference there. Pick your poison, I guess, is what I would say to that. Moving right along, we start getting into things that I don't know what they are exactly. But we've got some railing, a lot of repeat pieces here. This is the nuts and bolts of the kit, though. The big difference between KA and PONTOS being the massive amount of Photoetch PONTOS is providing you. This looks like the degaussing lines. KA did a similar thing. These are a different shape. We'll have to take a look at the differences between the two. Here we have, I already know, I have seen that before. Those are the pieces for the Oerlikon cannons. Yeah, I'm not going to make all of those, but we will make some. And then we've got some boxes here that we're folding up, and gun sights and hatches and things like that. Another sheet of the same thing. All right, and then here, this has got to be, looks like part of the mass that you've got going on, and I don't know if these are gun tubs, part of the Bofors, not sure. But they're there. This, I'm seeing a lot of super fine detail there. A lot of this Photoetch is a lot more fragile than what we saw in the other kit. And we're moving on into some other large pieces here. There's some stairs. Again, look at all these big pieces. So that's the thing that's different here, is that PONTOS is providing a lot of replacement pieces of brass to just cover up large pieces of kit plastic. Because the thing is that if you paint metal, it looks like painted metal, and a military ship is painted metal. All right, so we'll continue on more stuff like that. Here we have other big pieces, like again, big pieces of deck to lay down here. This is part of the gun tubs for the Oerlikons. All very nicely detailed. Real nice stuff here. Again, a lot more petite looking, big, huge pieces of Photoetch brass. Here we have some of our hanger doors, not all on one sheet. So you just kind of have to work through everything. Got more bracing and stuff. I'm sure this goes underneath something from above, and so we get a little bit more of the metal work involved on the ship there. That's nice. This is a massive piece of brass. I don't know what that's for. Oh, I think it has something to do with the bow, maybe. Yeah, and then all this material up above. This is the reason I was interested in the PONTOS kit. All right, gun tubs, railing, whatever these pieces are right there. This is probably our crane. Some other various parts. More doors. I'm thinking right here, this is the inside of the hangar deck, this wall piece right here. And that's cool because it's all detailed up for you. You can slap it on and get some paint on it, and you got something neat to look at. More doors. There's lots of doors out of the ship here. Again, large pieces of brass. Another piece. Some of this is going to repeat, obviously, because it has to. I think this is another hangar deck area. Very large piece going across right here. Don't know what that's for yet. And it's neat. Look at this. Like there's a door, and then they had to curve out right there for the hatch. That's cool. Here we go. Here's your bow plate. The forecastle deck right here. Man, it's raised. Each of these is a little bump, so it's a half etch. That's really, really nice. This is what I was interested in, that there was metal deck pieces, big, huge chunks to put down. This is just giant pieces of brass right here. Look at this. 1, 2, 3 huge pieces. Here's our name, Enterprise, right there. So instead of a decal, we can put that on there raised. All right, more large pieces. Look at this. One big, huge piece of brass. I don't even know where that goes. Another huge piece of brass. Oh, this is going to be very cool. And, oh, this is probably our forecastle, and the other one I looked at was probably the stern on the back, the poop deck there. And then this looks like a bulkhead, and this is going to be the forecastle deck for the anchors to go out. All right, some more big pieces here. And now back into tiny pieces again. We got some netting. This is probably to catch the folks along the deck. Some girders to install. Oh, yeah. Ooh, this final piece is really big, and there's a big left and right on here. I'm hoping that so you get right and left. I don't know. We'll have to sort that out. They obviously don't want you to mess something up. This probably goes like this. Left side of the ship, right side of the ship. It's probably the stern, that's probably the bow. I'm making an assumption, I don't know. Very cool. So there we go. That takes care of that. Let's go ahead and take a look at the instructions. All right, starting out, it comes all folded up. So I will unfold it. And here we go. All right, so I think they've figured this out too. It's time to have large pieces of paper with big, clear images on them so that it's easy for everyone to see what's going on. Ooh, Palisades. There's a bunch of instructions here. Stuff that's going on. All right, so flip it over. Here's your deck with everything broken down. Different sections, what's going on. Oh, yes, masking sheets. So I was right. Those are masking sheets. Telling you what's happening. And look at this. So here's my hand. Don't tell me that you can't look at these instructions You don't even need Harry Carey glasses. You can read this. You can figure this out. These pictures are great. Remember, these guns are about the size of a quarter when they're done here, about the size of my thumb. Nice big 3D images in color. They could have done a little bit better with the, see how small the numbers are, but I guess that's just being a little bit picky, right? Look at that. Clearly showing how the parts go and sit with arrows. Love it. Good job to both KA and Pontos for figuring out that you need to make the instruction sheets much, much larger. This is all in color. Here are your guns and lights. I mean, they're making these pieces look ginormous, and in real life, they're not that big. Oh, yeah. These are little works of art all in themselves. All right, moving on to the brass. Look at this. Wow. A lot of fun. And then this is where they go. Oh my goodness. That's incredible. I hope they make these instructions available publicly on their website so that you guys can just go, if you want to look up close at them and see. See right here, this is all Photoetch, and they've got the railing on here, and this is that piece that KA opted to include as a 3D printed part. And here we have it in Photoetch. So yeah, I guess that's something that I want to point out here. We'll take a look at that. You're going to have a lot of duplicate parts between the two. I'm going to argue this one's a lot more involved than what you're going to get with KA. And I have heard that they are thinking about putting out another kit to supplement the one they provided. But if you don't like Photoetch so much, Pontos might not be for you. And again, you are paying a premium for this. Unfortunately, the world has changed. Inflation is here. And as of this recording, this kit's very expensive. Look at that. So here, this is the big deal. This is why I was all excited about this kit. All these girders and stuff underneath here that you're going to assemble. I mean, I know KA provides you with some, but this seems a lot more in depth. That's why I was thinking about merging the two kits. Well, here are those boxes that I couldn't figure out what they were before. Just really cool. Nicely detailed. And then on the other side, look at that. A ton of brass. Painting all this up. You know what this is going to look like? Metal. That's what it's going to look like, painted metal. So see how all of this, when you're done, all of that's brass underneath here. I mean, yeah, the ship's going to weigh a ton when you're done with it, but who cares? Look at that. That's so exciting to me. I'm really pumped about this. And let's see, we're making the stern flight deck up here. Huge pieces of brass. Kit rear flight deck. Then you're getting rid of all these sections, I think, and replacing them. Yep, with your Photoetch. This is the back and the bottom of it. I mean, that's just nuts. That's so cool. Here we are on the stern deck. And again, this paper is so big, I'm having to move it across the camera so that you guys can get a glimpse of what everything looks like. Look at that. Look at that. That's what we're going for. Really neat. Big, huge sheets. Easy to read. The only drawback to them is they might take up a lot of room, but you could fold them to get to the part that you're working on. Inside of the hanger there. This is labeled port side, per the instructions. Port side 2, that was port side 1. All of this brass. Really exciting. Here we go. So I'm wondering if we're going to eliminate, I didn't look at the color code, if purple has you remove that, and you just replace it, boom, with this entire big huge piece. Just wow. I love all these sub-assemblies, and you know, I know the catch is you got to make sure that they all fit together once you're done with everything, right? And we're gonna work through all that. We'll figure it all out. So this is where all the doors go. I'm gonna do a little research, but I'm gonna leave a lot of these doors open, I think, depending on what you see inside. We're gonna figure that out. I want to be able to look inside the hangar decks a lot and see things. Some of these smaller doors, I'm sure they were all closed. It's probably for, you know, loading stores and goods and ammunition. You'd never have them open at sea unless it was really necessary. But the hangar deck stuff, we're gonna figure that out. All right, and now I'm gonna move along a little bit because this basically, we're looking at the same thing, but we've gone on to the starboard side now, right? And you're putting all of these pieces in. Look at that. I have not taken the time to really digest any of these instructions. I just kind of glanced at them real quick. I saw that the images were much larger, and I was like, oh, that's exciting. My reaction here is genuine. I did not realize how cool these were. Look at that. Look at all that brass. It's so tempting to build the whole thing out of and just leave it in brass, right? And just look at everything just to see all the stuff that changed. Just incredible. Here we go, getting to our airplanes. All right, so right away, like I was mentioning before, you fold and install your own cockpit tubs, and you know, it might be more accurate. It might be more scale thickness to scale size, right size, I guess. That's the word I'm looking at here. I mean, look at that detail. That looks like a 1/48 scale airplane, right, that they just gave you a Photoetch for. Although it's tiny and difficult to work with, this might be better than the resin. Or you end up doing a combination of the resin parts from KA and the Photoetch here from PONTOS. You just got to make up your own mind. Now, obviously, if you recall, nice brass, no big deal, looks great. Got the brass insert there for the prop, so it looks like it'll spin. This was pre-painted and printed by KA, which I thought was really cool. Okay. And then what do we got? Last sheet, yes. Accommodation ladders. The jack staff, I don't think our jack staff's going to be deployed, nor will our ensign staff. But they've got them there depending on how you want to display it. Put your Beaufort tubs together. If you want to have your little accommodation ladder. And then here, nice photograph showing the brass in place and then where the Beauforts and guns go. Yeah. Last page, again installing little parts. Just shows where everything goes. So in this photograph, it's kind of telling here, you don't have all of the tie downs going a gazillion times back and forth. You do get that with the PONTOS kit and their deck, or I'm sorry, the KA deck. You've got some here. I mean, they're there. It's not like they left them out. You just don't have as many, I think. Something's different about the two. We'll When we get to this point, we will address it up close in the build, but pretty neat. All right, that's it. Those are your instructions from Pontos. I know I went through this kit real quickly here. I just wanted you all to be able to see what you're getting. And like I said, don't forget to like and subscribe. Turn on the bell icon. I have to finish Titanics first. That's going to take a while. But once they're done, we're going to start this build, and it's going to be a lot of fun. Thank you very much for watching. We'll see you all again next time.